Hello everyone, I'm Martin. I want to talk about a video and comparing two of the AI tools available on the market right now. There are two best reasoning tools with the AI, which I found both of them very capable and something that is not in the level of other AI tools that are available in the market. I ended up comparing them because I am paying for one of them, but the other one is free. Is it worth to pay more for the subscription of ChatGPT while DeepSeek released a version with the name of R1, which is providing almost the same features, and sometimes it's outsmarting ChatGPT in terms of providing answers. I'm trying to divide this video into a couple of steps. In the first step, I'm challenging DeepSeek with prompts that is generated by ChatGPT and making sure those prompts are going to provide right answers. Then I have some prompts from myself and the previous versions of both ChatGPT and DeepSeek's, which they were going faulty, and I'm trying to test them. Then moving toward situations like analyzing a PDF and also planning a trip based on the information available on the internet. Bear with me, I have a lot of good information. If you're new to AI tools, or if you want to move from ChatGPT to DeepSeek, or you just want to know how DeepSeek is working, I've done a thorough investigation with. So let's ask ChatGPT for the same question. What should I ask DeepSeek to be able to get some responses that I want? So first of all, ChatGPT is going to think a lot, making sure it's going to give you an answer with 14 seconds of thought behind the answers. Here are three statements. All dogs have tails. Spot is a dog. Spot has a tail. Based on these statements, what can we conclude about Spot? Let's ask this question first before deep thinking. Before deep thinking in DeepSeek, based on the given statement, we can conclude Spot has a tail. All dogs have tails. Spot is a dog. Spot has a tail. And now you can simply say Spot has a tail. And then if I want to ask this question with a deep thinking R1, let's see how the thought process behind this ending DeepSeek to get there. Test basic deductive reasoning, checks if the chatbot can follow logical premises to a conclusion. So I'm going through thinking. It is always it is known at the moment that DeepSeek is actually spending a lot on thinking, and it will give you a lot more information about what is he thinking about. Let's take a look at what DeepSeek is coming up with the answer. The next question is explanation in terms. Well, the server is very busy, which is obvious after a lot of attacks to DeepSeek and also the hype. Now many people are looking at DeepSeek to see what are the differences between this. Okay, so the user asked the question again. Let me check the history. They provided three statements. In the previous response, I concluded the Spot has a tail, so it has a very deep understanding of what was the conversation before. And wait, maybe they want to know if the conclusion is valid. Let me think. Now the think process. In standard syllogism, the first two words are premises, and this is exactly what was being requested to be. So all dogs have tails, Spot is a dog, and conclusion. And now after all, it will end up with all these thought process for 42 seconds, which is good. For some reasoning, you need to understand how this chatbot is thinking. And it says, yeah, establishes a general rule, all dogs have tails. Premise 2 specifies that Spots belong to the category of dog. By combining these two statements, we logically infer that Spot, being a dog, must have a tail. So simple, but the deep answer from the chatbot. Explanation in simple terms. Explain concept of photosynthesis in 40 words or fewer using simple language appropriate for a 10-year-old person. I'm going to take a look at this question from ChatGPT 01. This time I'm using at the beginning the deep thinking, and I'm trying to make sure this is giving me all the information that I'm looking for based on the thinking process. Now, still thinking. The thinking is, it can be for two reasons. One, the servers are very, very on the, let's say, high load, and probably they're not ready for this load. They recently published their applications on the smartphone, so maybe that's the reason they're not able to catching up with the speed, but I see it now. The user wants the explanation of photosynthesis for a 10-year-old in 40 words or less. I should start with the main idea. Plants make their own food. How do they do that? Using sunlight. So maybe plants use sunlight to make food from water and air. Wait, they use water and carbon dioxide, but air might be simpler for a kid. So it goes with a lot of pivoting in a thought process. Photosynthesis is how plants make food. They use sunlight, water from soil, and carbon dioxide from air to create sugar for energy and release oxygen. This happens in their leaves, which is a great answer. I believe it pivoted multiple times for 15 seconds. Still, check for clarity, accuracy, and conciseness. Step-by-step problem solving. Solve this math word problem step by step. A book has 245 pages. If you read 7 pages each day, how many days will it take to finish the book? Measure step-by-step problem solving. So problem solving in this question is coming with a thought process, and I believe the thought process should help DeepSeek to be able to get with the expected questions and answers. But to be able to understand the steps in the problem solving is very important, because sometimes even developers are trying to talk loud to make sure their problem solving is sound for other people to understand what they are up to. First, I think this is a division problem. If you read certain number of pages per day, the total days would be the total pages divided by pages per day. So 245 divided by 7, let me check that. And now step by step getting there. Step 1, identify total pages per day, 7 division. And this is the division. It will take 35 days to finish the book. So very clear, step by step, and the thought process is always adding more and more information for you to understand. Short creative writing. Write a very short story, 3 to 5 sentences about a child who discovers something magical in their backyard. Make sure the story has beginning, middle, and end. Let's go to storytelling and see how creative is this chatbot. A child who discovers something magical in their backyard, 3 to 5 sentences. Check the creativity and narrative flow. Looks at the ability to structure a cohesive short story. As we are waiting, we can take a look at the, now the answer is coming. Okay, the user wants a very short. So first of all, in a very first step, the DeepSeek is actually making sure the understanding of the message is completely clear for starting the process. what user wants is very important. What has been answered before is very important for DeepSeek. And it's clear in the thought process. Let me start by setting up the sentence. Maybe a kid playing outside, something catches their eye. The magical element should simply be simple but vivid, glowing object under a bush, which is great to see. Let's see what's the final result. Beginning, while digging in her backyard, Mia unearthed a shimmering blue stone. In the middle of this story, when she touched it, the stone glowed, revealing tiny floating islands above her yard. She climbed the glowing vines to explore, but by morning the islands vanished, leaving only the stone and her secret. Pretty much based on what I was expecting, ability to structure, cohesive shortness, and it makes beginning, middle, and end story separately by making them a bold. Summarization. Summarize the paragraph in a single sentence. Albert Einstein was a theoretical physicist who developed the theory of the relativity, one of the two pillars of modern physics. His work is also known for its influence on philosophy of science. So let's now, this is interesting because I missed S at the beginning for summarize. But as you can see, very first step is the user wants me to summarize. So it's recreating and making sure the understanding is correct. So the challenge is considering all that into a concise sentence without losing essential information. I should start with his name and profession, then mention his development of theory of relativity. It's important to note that it's pillar of modern physics, so renowned for other. Now let's take a look at the answer. Albert Einstein is a theoretical physicist renowned for developing a theory of relativity, a cornerstone of modern physics, profoundly influenced the philosophy of science, which is clear. Cause and effect explanation explain how deforestation can lead to an increase in carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere, provide a clear, concise cause and effect chain. All right, let's move on with O1 questions. I need to explain deforestation leads to more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Let's start by recalling what I know about trees and CO2. Trees absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, right? They use CO2, sunlight, water to make glucose and oxygen. Very interesting that these details are coming out of the agent mind. Relative, and we know that behind the scene, these are information that is saved in a database, that the relative information is picked up, and then the answer is being calculated by those. Cause and effect chain. Deforestation removes trees absorb. So let's take a look at evaluate the ability to connect cause and effect. Check factual accuracy. Deforestation removes trees absorb CO2 via photosynthesis. Fewer trees, less CO2 absorbed. Cut decomposing trees, release stored carbon as CO2, and result is going to be CO2 with this level. Enhanced greenhouse effect and climate change. Comparison prompt. Compare the concept of machine learning and traditional programming in a short paragraph. Focus on their main differences. Let's take a look at the comparison and see what we can find out in the capabilities of DeepSeek for comparison. Okay, so we're back on the ambiguous language trap. If Sam tells you I always lie on Tuesdays and it's Tuesday today, how can you verify if Sam is telling the truth right now or not? Now, getting there, the answer is ending up with 15 seconds. Let's consider the alternative. If today is not Tuesday, if today is not Tuesday, then the second part of Sam's statement is false. However, the first part could still be true or false. You see that this seems like a classic lawyer paradox. Alternatively, if today is not Tuesday, then statement is false. So final answer to determine whether Sam is telling the truth, analyze his first statement follows. Sam's statement, I always lie on Tuesdays. It's Tuesday today. Suppose today is Tuesday. If Sam is telling truth, then this. If Sam is lying, then this. In case 2, suppose today is not Tuesday. The conclusion, if today is Tuesday, Sam's statement is paradox. If today is not Tuesday, Sam is lying because part 2 is false. Final answer, if today is Tuesday, statement is paradoxical, cannot be verified. If today is not Tuesday, Sam is lying. Since it's Tuesday, today is false. The analysis hinges on the day of week and the self-referential nature of Sam's claim, creating a logical contradiction when applied to Tuesday. Going with the advanced riddle with hidden constraint, a man says, I'm lying or I'm married. If the man is unmarried, is he telling the truth or lying? Explain. So you see ChatGPT is challenging the questions with lies or with untruth statement, and then relying on those as a logical statement. Looks like a simple either or, but there is a nuance in how logical statements of the form P, V, Q related to the truth values when P or Q is false. Test knowledge of logical disjunction and truth tables. Now, we can retry for the answer of this. And the last thing is text with hidden internal contradiction. Explain step by step why the following text is consistent or inconsistent. Before dawn, I saw the bright midday sunshine high in the sky. Simultaneously, it was pitch black dark and the light was blinding me. The sun was clearly visible and I was inside in windowless room. Why it's a challenge? Because requiring noticing that multiple details are contradictory. Night versus midday still needs a retry. Bright versus pitch black, windowless yet seeing the sun. Simplistic response might try to justify these statements literally rather than addressing the inherent contradiction. My understanding from the level that DeepSeek is actually providing service, I understand they are targeting mass market with free tool like this, but I don't think they can support all the requests that are coming to their servers at the moment. They mentioned they are under attack, which might be the reason for this, a cyber security breach or a denial of service attack to the servers. But a billion, or not billion, a million, hundreds of millions of requests in a day can be also attack as a definition of denial of service for a lot of requests, and the backend is not capable for it. And we know that they're not providing services based on the latest versions of NVIDIA graphic cards because of the sanctions. And this on its own is causing some concerns. Are they able to keep this service up and running as a free tool? Or we will end up with a situation that they need to reduce their quality, which I hope the second one is not the answer, because for users, it's always a question of how reliable is this service. If they want to reduce their quality of the service, then it's very hard to understand. Is it a same service that you are testing it right now, you're receiving 6 months from now? I will give it a break, come back when there is an answer for my question.